James, on the Dan Talks Theatre channel, what is my catchphrase?
Theatre is subjective.
I mean, that is one of my catchphrases, but that's not the one I was looking for. I like to talk about set design. I often say that I love set design, I'm very passionate about set design. So I thought today I would do a tier list. Bit you're new to this channel, hi, I'm Daniel. I'll talk about theatre, it's in the name. If you want to hear someone talk about theatre, subscribe and like the video. Tier list time. When I'm ranking these set designs, I'm going to have three criteria. Jesus, I'm making this sound more scientific than it is. Number one, the set must reflect the show. If you look at the set, you must know 100% that that is from that show. Or, you know, you can kind of see little elements that kind of align themselves. Two, it must be practical for the show. Like, if it's just a logo, yes, that tells you what the show is, but it's not really practical for the show. And number three, it gotta look good. Like, it's gotta be eye-catching. It's gotta bring you into that world. You know, a boring set is a boring set. You're then relying on everything else in your show to be perfect. Okay, we're going to start with Spongebob, because that's what I talked about in my last video. Now, the Spongebob musical, that is an amazing set design. The way it kind of like goes out across the entire front of the theatre, the way it is just beautiful with all its like little trash bits. But yeah, I think I'm going to put Spongebob, I'll put it in A tier. It's a very, very good set. Let's go to Matilda. As soon as you look at this set, you know it's Matilda. Even if they took away like the letters that said Matilda hanging down. I quite like how it comes down. It's almost like a tree-like thing with all the books in the middle. I think I'm going to place that high. I'm going to put it in B, Hamilton. I think the Hamilton set's just okay. I think it's quite a nice reflection of the world, but I don't think it adds much importance to the show. It's not a show like Beetlejuice that needs that massive set, and it works its purpose just okay, but I wouldn't put it in like a really high class. I think C, I think it's middle of the road. I think it sits perfectly in that middle place. Let's get Mean Girls out the way. It's just a curved wall, and I mean, the projections look really nice, I'll give it that, but it's just three walls. You're boring. You're boring. That's going straight into F tier. I think we should go on to the Amelies now. Okay, let's start with Broadway Amelie. I think the problem with the Amelie set for Broadway is that I've seen the West End one, and I've seen how vibrant it can be, and I've seen how like the darker green colours suit the show a lot more than the blues, and how it feels a lot more French, and how they both kind of suit their versions a little bit more. But if I'm talking about which one I like more, I definitely say West End Amelie. So West End Amelie goes into B, and I've probably put Broadway Amelie into D. Beetlejuice. That is an instant S tier, and I think we know it, because that set is just so intricately designed. There's so many little hints to the film. It perfectly services the world, changing with every time the owners of the house change. It's so visually interesting because it changes, and because they use lighting to change it, and actual like wallpaper and set pieces. And like there's massive props to the lighting design here, and just everything comes together to this amazing set that has to go into S tier. There's no other place for it. But now we're about to talk about 9 to 5. I'm specifically talking about the West End version of 9 to 5. It has this really interesting set where it's got all these like computers going round the like stage, and this really nice like projection backdrop. And I think that would be interesting enough, because it's a little bit unlike Mean Girls, because you're not just doing projection, you've also got these like massive lights, and I mean you'll have desks and stuff like that will come in, and I think that kind of gives you enough for something like 9 to 5. But then they just cover up their projection in every scene. Like, what's the point of having your projection screen back there if you're just going to cover it up? And then there's just set piece after set piece. So many reprises of the same song, and it just gets boring. Like, I think there's so many good things about this set. It just kind of gets lost in the kind of motions of it. So I'll put it in E tier. Waitress. Waitress is another one where they have one location and they use it very well. And when they have to have different places, they only change one thing. They change one thing and it's really quick. It's really easy. It's just like turning around the diner thing to bring you into like the doctor's office or bringing on a bench. And it's all done. And at the end of the show, when like Lulu's Pies comes in and the stage is all pink, it looks amazing. Okay, I am a big fan of the Waitress set design. B tier. I think that goes straight into B tier. Everybody's talking about Jamie set. I think this is the one show on here that hasn't been on Broadway. It's a simple set. They use little bits of projection, but it's never like too noticeable. It's just like if they're at their home, there's like the town projected on the back really faintly. It's quite nice. I think I'd put it with Hamilton. I think it services the show well. Let's go on to West End Heathers. I know I'm in the minority here a little bit, but I really like West End Heathers. I think it's okay. I think it's fine. Does it look interesting though? I think that's where Heathers set kind of falters because, I mean, it's very hard because you're doing a school hall and that is inherently not an interesting place. But I do prefer Heathers over a lot of these other ones. I'm going to put it in D tier. Natasha Peer and the Great Comet of 1812. James. Instant S tier. Instant S tier. Does it serve as a show? Yes, of course it does. It's all flowing and out and all the audience are placed on the stage and it's all these staircases going up and the staircases connect to your mezzanine and it's also interactive and brilliant and all the lights and oh, it's so perfectly designed. I love it. Okay, I love it. James, do you love it? He said, yeah. Hadestown. I quite like the Hadestown set. When you see it live, because I saw it in London before it went to Broadway, and I think the best part about the set is the change at the end of Act 1, where the stage kind of opens up and all these like lights come up the back, and I love the kind of the revolve in the middle and the one that can rise and fall, and I think that really works for what the show's getting at. I think the set's kind of like a little bit grimy, a little bit green, a little bit it really fits the world that Hadestown is in. I really like the Hadestown set. It's really good. Going in A tier. Avenue Q. Does it surface the show? Yep. Does it look that interesting? Nope. I put it in D tier. Come From Away. This is hard because I'm going to lay my biases on the table. I love Come From Away. I think the trees look really nice. I love the little details. I don't think Come From Away is about the set, but I love how the set represents the mood of the show. Like, a lot of it is moved by the actors, and that has a reason, because it's all about them helping each other and stuff like that, and showing how, in that point, it was all about helping your fellow man, and I really like it. I don't know if I like it because I love the show and I'm so passionate about the show. I didn't say this was going to be unbiased. This is all opinion. Of course it's biased. I'm putting it in B tier. Dear Evan Hansen. This is how you do projection right. It's not just one backdrop. It's so many different panels and different things coming in and constantly moving and giving you that sense of this world behind these characters constantly going upwards and forwards and onwards, and there's always a new trend and there's always something different, and the projection, it doesn't just go onto the walls, it goes onto the floor. It's a very intricate set. It's very well designed. It fits the show perfectly. I think this is another one for the B tier. Wicked. Of course the set design is amazing. I love the kind of the way the set is designed with all the like curves and like the cogs and the massive like, I don't even know what it is, like the flying monkey thing at the front, looking out. But yeah, B tier for Wicked. I think it's a very, very, very good set. But now it's the final one for this tier list. I've left out loads of musicals. I could do this like forever. So if you want a sequel, comment down below. Please give us a part 2. Like this video and make sure you subscribe. But let's talk about Spider-Man Turn Off the Dark. I think if we're talking about the world, if we're talking about does it reflect the world, I think yes it does. But I think this is where I use my practicality clause in it. Because the whole problem with the Spider-Man musical is that just none of it was practical. And like, how do these buildings help you in your set? How does this just not look like a garbled mess on stage? But I think it's just messy. It's not good. It's a garbled mess. It goes straight into F tier. So that's my definitive tier list. I'm going to leave a link in the description so you can, do this tier list for yourself. But if you enjoyed this video, please hit like and consider subscribing. I make great music theatre content every week, like these videos on screen right now. But if you excuse me, I'm going to go talk about why I love Beetlejuice so much. Bye!